Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So just a quick one today. I'm just going to be doing the thermostat on the Passat. So it runs at pretty cool temperatures, never gets up over like 60, 65. So although it doesn't really affect the car in a mega negatively way, I just thought it would be best to get it done considering the thermostat's so cheap anyway. So, show you what I've got for this job. Got a new thermostat, still in the packaging, with an O-ring. That was like £6, so dirt cheap. And then I've got a couple of bottles of just the generic triple QX, but I made sure it's G13 with the VW stuff. You want to make sure it's G13. It doesn't mix well with others otherwise, and it can block up something to do with blocking up the coolant channels, something like that. Ain't really that much more expensive, so I just thought I'd go with it just to be safe. So yeah, this is just concentrate, and obviously I'm going to mix it down with normal water. I'm not going to bother with deionized water and all that crap because I can't be bothered. So yeah, going to drain the old coolant, take the thermostat out, going to get the hose pipe, put it onto the into the coolant system and flush it through a bit, just with a bit of fresh water, get any crap out, and then just refill it with some of this lovely coloured G13 coolant and some water, and then just bleed it. I believe most of the VWs, including this Passat, are self-bleeding for the main part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the cap off on the expansion tank, put the heating on, and just give some of the hoses a squeeze just to make sure it gets all that, gets all the coolant circulated through and gets all the air out. So, right, enough chatter, let's crack on with it. So what I've done is taken the engine covers off, and then you'll be presented with an engine bay looking like this. And the thermostat is just down. Let's see if we can get the camera on it. There's the camera aiming, there we go. It's just down in here. So you can get better angle on it. See that bolt? There's one down there as well, and it's like a plastic sort of housing. You can just see the top of it from here. It's there and there. It's like a little plastic housing. And all you want to do is take that off, but first I'm going to drain the coolant. Now there should be a drain plug on here, but I can't seem to find it. It's a bit different. This is the AWX engine, and it's mounted this way, longitudinally rather than transversely. Don't know why, don't know how that works, but it doesn't seem to be much info on these AWXs in particular. It should be just a tap at the bottom of the radiator, but I can't seem to see it when I'm underneath the car. So all I'm going to do is, I've traced the cooling system back from the expansion tank here. You can follow it down, and it goes down into, where is it? That sort of assembly down there. And there's like a little sensor on the side of it. So all I'm going to do is, let's see if you can see it. Just down there, there's like a little sensor. There's a little one of those clips that you pry out and then it just pulls off. I'm going to pry that out, pull it off, see if it lets any coolant out. If not, I'll just remove one of the hoses down there and it'll let all the coolant out and drain it. Cool, so let's get to that. Yep. I didn't think it was going to come out that quick, so so wash that away, and then fill the cap up, the expansion tank up with some water, flush it through, put that plug back in, refill after changing the thermostat. So next up is onto the actual thermostat itself. So let's see if we can get a really good angle on it. Not really. Right, so it's that one there and the one underneath it. So you're coming from the side, see down there the bottom one. Okay, so you're coming from the side, put a 10mm socket on the bolt there, and there's a bolt underneath, and wiggle it off gently. So I moved it out of the way. You can see the housing is here. Got all that sludge inside of it. It's disgusting. So that's the little plastic housing. One too bad on mine, one too brittle. I think the thermostat's meant to come out with this, and then you're meant to release it from there. I've heard you're meant to twist it, and then it locks into there. But mine didn't. Mine stayed in the block. So I don't know if you can see it down there. That really gross, horrible looking thing down there. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is just try and pull it out with some pliers or something. I don't know if it locks. I'll report back if it locked into there or not, or if it just pulls out. But it looks to be seized in there, good and solid. So probably indicate why your car ain't getting temperature. So
Alright, let's grab it out. Alright, so I was just twisting on it for ages and it was twisting and twisting and twisting. I was like, it's not getting any better out here, it's not getting any looser. So I just ended up putting the pliers on it, giving it a firm tug. I mean, I don't have to worry about destroying it or anything, it's coming out anyway. So yeah, it's quite clean that side, but this side is absolutely caked up with stuff. Doesn't seem to, I don't know, seems to move freely, but I don't know. We'll see if it's this. If this cures it, great. If not, it might be coolant temp sensor. I believe that's what I unplugged, so we'll see. Fingers crossed it's this. So put the new one in, put it into the housing. Where's the housing gone? Here we go. So put it into the housing, twist it in place until it locks in. First of all though, I am just going to give everything a hose through. So run the hose through expansion tank, run it up in there where it's all dirty, run it through the actual thermostat housing, let it all drain out for a bit, and then I'll reconnect that plug at the bottom. Cool, let's do it. Right, so I've just put I think it's coolant temp sensor. I don't really like a positive click when you put it back in. It's almost like just a drain plug in and of itself. So I pushed it in as far as I'd go, and I put palm my hand on it, and you know, really pushed it in, really used some force in as far as I'd go. There was still a tiny little gap, but I think it was fine. Put that little clip back over the housing. That seems to secure it in. Give it a tug. Didn't seem to be going anywhere. So thermostat next, and then we can refill it with coolant. Alright, so thermostat's back in. Don't forget the little O-ring that goes around the thermostat. What you do is you have the body of the thermostat housing, the plastic. You have the thermostat and you put it in and you twist it clockwise into it, and it kind of locks in as solid as you think. You lock it, and then basically you can just put an O-ring around the gap that's created when they lock. All I'm going to do now is put a bit of water in the coolant system, just a tiny bit, just to see if there's any leaks anywhere. If there isn't, I'll go ahead and start putting the coolant back in.
Okay, so I turned it on with the coolant expansion tank lid off, let it run for a little bit. I've still got it running now. I'm going to see if the temperature rises. So at first the coolant level did drop a little bit with the fans on at full heat and the lid open, and I was like squeezing all the pipes, just making sure, you know, it was circulating through the system. So I'm just going to sit here with it running in the car, just monitor the temperature for a bit. So diesel, so you know, it might take a while to get up to temperature, but I'll give it a few revs. And yeah, just see if it gets up to temperature properly, and then make sure it doesn't go past that as well. I'm not really meant to go for a drive, so I can't really do that because it's not an essential journey. As you know, we are in, well, you might know, in the UK we are in lockdown, which means you're not meant to leave your house unless it's for essentials. I'm classed as more at risk and vulnerable, so I'm not meant to leave the house for anything, which is really annoying. But it's good having, you know, asking people saying, "Oh, can you just really get this from shop for me? You know, I really need it, but I'm not allowed to leave. Sorry." And you just get personal workforce running after you. So, right, let's watch coolant temp. See if it goes up. You know what? That's good enough for me. We've got 90, boys. We've done it. GG, WP. Thermostat has worked. Everything has worked. Job's a good one. Nothing else went wrong. What more can you want? Nothing's broken. Okay, so yeah, that wasn't too bad. Thermostat's working. I'm just going to double check, make sure that I don't go over 90 now. I did have to put a bit more coolant in. The coolant level had dropped, yeah, so I'd gone around, just put a bit more coolant and a bit more water in. But I'm staying pretty spot on at 90 now. Got it. MPG should go up as well. On a run I was still getting pretty high MPG, you know, like 40 somewhere. Even I did a run to York, which isn't too far, but it's mainly like 50 roads, like 50 miles to the gallon up there, which was really good for this, for an old agricultural, you know, 1.9 turbo diesel thing. with like an 8 valve, horrendously noisy basic engine. So hopefully I should see that even higher, and that's really boring. So anyway, thanks for staying tuned. That is how you do thermostat on an AWX engine. So it's not too bad. Don't take this as a professional guide. Biggest thing was getting covered in coolant when the plug did just drop all the coolant, which kind of half expected and kind of didn't prepare for really, so that was mainly user error on my part. Other than that, pretty short video. We'll cut it there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.